Good, y'all? Welcome back to my studio. So, as y'all know, this year marks 20 years since Power Rangers SPD premiered in America in 2005, and now we are in 2025. And it really got me thinking about a lot of things since it dawned on me really hard on what if Power Rangers never ended and we could have gotten an anniversary special focusing on the APA. And this one is really cool. There are some awesome things coming our way from Rare Airways to celebrate the 20th anniversary of Power Rangers SPD. Greg will be releasing never before seen photos and videos. He's teamed up with artists to create all new original designs for pins, patches, posters, and more merch for his Etsy store. And he'll be attending as many conventions around the US as he can. Which thing are you excited about or the most, basically? And I'm gonna link to his Instagram down below so y'all can go check him out of what he got cooking in 2025. Now I want to talk about SPD for a brief moment because it's one of those seasons that I took very seriously because of the story. You know, Jack is one of those Red Rangers that he kind of grew as a ranger, but he was a bit of an airhead for the most part, you know. And he started off as like a thug, homeless, helping out the people and stuff until he got caught by Space Patrol Delta, and which he saw his girl C in trouble along with the other rangers. So he pretty much made it his mission to become a ranger and a police officer at the same time. And so towards the end of the show, he started like slacking off because he was so busy seeing his girl while being a ranger, being on duty. And so in the finale, he pretty much retired as a ranger. Scott ends up becoming the Red Ranger, Bridge become Blue, and Sid and Z ended up staying yellow and pink for the most part. But there are some things about SPD that really made me a fan of this show, and which was the story about Commander Kruger, aka the Shadow Ranger, because he lost his people from the events that happened with Grum, and he destroyed his planet, his people, and he vowed not to fight ever again while picking up his good-looking sword for the most part, right? And so for me, his story arc definitely made Power Rangers SPD more memorable than the Omega Ranger, in my opinion. I never liked the Omega Rangers because the voice acting, his story arc, it was just kind of bad, to be honest with you. But the rest of the Rangers, man, I feel like they pretty much stood out to me the most. Sky being the Blue Ranger because he wanted to be the Red Ranger in the beginning of the season. And he had this moment when they did an episode about how one of the villains actually took out his father, and so he wanted to have this moment. And not only that, but I really feel like, to me, that after SPD we could have gotten like another special with Simon Bennett on SPA, so we could have seen Adam and Aisha become new Rangers working for Space Patrol Delta, and we wouldn't have seen the entire SPD cast back for an important mission, you know, and so on. But at the end of the day, SPD is pretty much one of my third favorite seasons of the Disney era because of the story and the writing. But the action sequences were probably the best one, in my opinion. You know, I got like 3 Rangers that really stood out to me: Jack, SPD, Red, Sky, Blue, and the Shadow Ranger for the most part. 3 of my favorite characters so far. And yeah, shout out to SPD, 20 years in the making. One of the best seasons from the Disney era. I grew up with SPD, and it was one of those seasons that really got me hooked on Power Rangers because of the story. Yeah, man, what are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments down below.